Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today on this webinar. Today I'm going to go over the email and text campaign system, but before I do that I just wanted to go over a couple of things that we get asked a lot on our support system, so I just want to touch those topics real quickly. When you do get a new client, whether it's a buyer or a seller, you want to, even though if they enter a valid email address or cell phone number, they are on an email and text campaign automatically from the client creator system. You do want to follow up with them personally. You want to try to engage them as quickly as possible. If they're looking for a home list, let's say somebody looking for 4-bedroom homes in your city or your market area, Client Creator does not send them that list. So you will want to reach out to them, send them a list of homes, or find out a little bit more information regarding what type of home they're looking for, price range, so forth and so on. The lead capture pages are meant to obviously generate the lead and the interest, but we do leave some particular details off so that you can try and engage in some communication with them. That's the intent on what we're doing with our marketing. But even if they don't send, maybe you want to send them a list of homes that in general, but you can fine tune it if they reply back to you with more specifics. So I just wanted to touch on that we do not send a list of homes to clients. That would be the responsibility of the realtor. The other thing, I'm going to Facebook and Google. We post to your Facebook business pages. We post to all of your social media pages. But when we do our marketing, we are doing them through our Google marketing, Google Display Networks, Google AdWords. So we promote all the ads on social media through the Google marketing system. We do not use Facebook Ads Manager any longer. We used to years ago, but we found that it's only Facebook that was getting the promotions. So just focusing on one social media platform is not enough anymore. We have to go across multiples, and that's the reason why we switched over to Google, because it covers all of them. It can cover Instagram, it can cover Twitter, it can cover Facebook, YouTube, Google search engine rankings. So all of the display networks encompassed in Google are covered with that. So I just wanted to quickly explain those two things, just so you have a little bit better of understanding on what you need to do, because while our concierge team is handling pretty much everything for you, the only thing you're going to be responsible for is after the lead. After the lead is generated, the follow-up process, the engagement. Fortunately, we have no control over that and how you convert the leads from that point on after the lead's generated. So, obviously, the quicker the better to try to get them to engage with you. If you're not getting text messages in your system, that's because you did not set up your mobile phone in your system. So go onto your account information and then click on your mobile settings here. Okay, that will give you the information for your mobile settings. You need to choose your carrier, your phone number, days and times. So make sure that this is active in your account. Again, account information, options, mobile settings. That will make sure that you are getting the text message alerts as well as the emails. Okay, I'm going to go over to the email and text menu. So when you click on this, it's going to by default bring up all of your email campaigns that we have on this system. So these are all of the types of email campaigns that are pre-written in our Client Creator program, and we've added them into each of your accounts. They are, they are generalized. So we try to cover a multitude of possibilities, different types of clients, whether they're buyers or sellers, and Rand's done a terrific job in developing these messages. You can modify these. If if you want to go through them and modify them or add some of your own verbiage to them, by all means, please do so. We set them up so that you have a good start to the system here. They do work if they go untouched, but some realtors like a little bit more control, a little bit more options. So you can edit these as you see fit, and I will show you how to do it. Remember, you can find out which email campaigns assigned to a lead capture page. I'll go through that real quick just so you have an idea. If you could click on the edit button here, it'll bring up the page, and then you go to options and then email text campaigns, and that will tell you which email campaigns assigned to each of the lead capture page. So this is the email campaign, this is the text message campaign. We covered that in the lead capture page setup system. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you here is there's a sort option. These are the email campaigns, but if you want to see the text message campaigns, you just select the down arrow, and that'll switch over to the text message campaigns. So there are two different options, but first we're going to start off with the email campaigns. I'm going to pick on the 4-step home buyer first. If they have a green dot, obviously they're active in your system. If they have a red dot, they are not active and not currently being used. We like to keep all of them active, whether they're assigned to a lead capture page or not. Some realtors just have clients in their client list that they manually added to the system, and they're set up on a specific email campaign that may not be used on a lead capture page. So there is two options there. So if you click on the 4-step home buyer, you're going to go into the messages that are in this system. A day 0 message. This is only when it is assigned to a lead capture page. The day 0 is an instant message that goes out after they've signed up on a lead capture page. So because our client creator system obviously is based on the lead capture page system, we set up a day 0 to get an instant message the moment that they sign up on the system. If you add them manually to the client list and you assign them to this 4-step home buyer, they are not going to get this day 0 message because they didn't sign up through a lead capture page. You manually added them. So the first message they would get would be a data send would be on day 3. This would be the very first one. So I want to make sure that that's clear. If you have an email campaign that you want to use for buyers that you're bringing into the system, importing in, you want to make sure that you know that they're not going to get the very first message. So make sure that you understand that. If you want to go in and edit a message, you'll just click on the message here. You'll see the option here. You can edit the data send, you can edit the subject, and then you can go in and edit the body of the text. So you just click on the edit button. That'll bring up your format here, just like a word browser. Just so you want to change some verbiage on here, you would just make the modifications and click update. And then once you're done making all those changes, you would hit update message, and it will save the information. Okay, so if you want to obviously go into preview a message, you can do that here. It'll show you the information that is on here. It'll show you your email layout with the message information on there. If you want to delete this message, you can do that. I'm not going to, but if you delete this message, it'll remove this message entirely from the email campaign 4-step home buyer. If you want to return to the list, you can do that as well. So let's say you don't want to edit a message, you want to add a message. You click on the options here. You can add a message right there. It'll be the same thing. It'll be we'll put day 4, testing, and we'll add the message. And then you'll see the same thing come up here, the data send, testing, and then you'll add your content here. Update. And then update message. So we'll return to the list, and you'll see there's your day 4 message. That's on there. actually. I'll show you how to delete it, obviously, because we're going to delete this one. Options, delete message, and then you'll see that message is no longer there. When you click on the options, you can also rename this campaign. So if you wanted to change it from 4-Step Home Buyer to 4-Step Home Buyer 1, refresh that there, and then it'll change the name. Change it back. Okay. You can delete this entire campaign. So let's say you wanted to delete the entire system. You can click on that, and I'm actually going to delete one of these on another function I'm going to show you, so I will go through that with you. If you want to assign a specific client to this message, you click on Assign Client. A list of your clients will appear here. I only have one in here. So if you want to hit Assign, you just assign to this, and then it will automatically assign that client to the 4-Step Home Buyer with a click of a button. If you want to reassign a client, if you have other clients that you want to assign to different messages, different campaigns, you can do that here. You can also do that within the client list. So there are two functions for you to be able to reassign a client in your client system. If you want to email everyone in this group, you just click on that. It will generate a message for you. And it will send to everybody that is in your that is assigned to this 4-Step Home Buyer system. So it will show you all of your clients that you have on your system. If you have a multitude of them, it'll be right down here. You'll have all of your clients listed here so that you can see, and then it'll just send a message to all of those members that are your clients that are in that email group. And again, you can see those here. I'm actually going to remove this one. All right, so we don't have any clients assigned. That's fine. Okay, I wanted to show you how to delete a campaign, but first I'm going to just go through. Actually, it might be a good idea to do. I'm going to get rid of this past follow-up system, options, and then delete campaign. Okay, so let's say you accidentally delete a campaign, or we've added a new pre-written campaign to the system, and you have an option to go in and add it. Periodically, Rand will create new email campaigns and add them to the system. If that happens, you'll get a message pop up when you log in, and then you'll be taken to the section to review it and add it to your email campaign system. So if you go to options here, and then go to pre-written campaigns. These will be the email campaigns that Rand has written that you do not currently have active in your system. So you can preview them. You can preview all the messages that are on here. If you want to add it to your system, you'll just click the add button, and this will automatically add the entire message system into your email campaigns. So when we go back to the email campaigns, you'll see that the past follow-up system is right there, and then you can click on it and go through it similar to what we did previously. So that's pretty much how the pre-written system works. Any pre-written campaigns right here that we've added will be located there. So you can check them time to time to make sure, but anytime we add a new one, we always send out an email, put a pop-up message on your login so you have it. The next section is creating an email campaign. You want to start from scratch. You will name it. So we're going to do a test email campaign. Test description. If it's a text message campaign, you'll select it here. We're just going to create an email campaign right now. I'll go into the text message system next. Okay, so you have no clients on here, so we're going to click on options, and we're going to add a message. The first message is going to be, it does tell you right there. Day 0 is instant message when assigned to lead capture page, so we'll do day 1. We'll add a message. Subject's going to be your first message. Edit. Body first message. Oops, first message, sorry. And then So you'll have obviously the system in here. It'll pretty much layout now is exactly as it did previously. We'll have a there it is. There is the new text email campaign in your system. So you can add as many messages as you want. If you want to add another message, you just add a second message. Sorry, there's a train going by in the background. Day 4. And that pretty much updates everything there. So we'll return the list. Then you have day 1, day 4, and so forth and so on. So a real easy way to add email campaigns into the system and send them out to your clients. I am going to delete this campaign. Okay, and that removes the email campaign from your system. So your email layout, I'm skipping over the text campaign, I'll go over that next. Your email layout is going to be pretty much everything you have here. We can customize everything. If you do not want to use any email stationery, you can hit remove. It will remove all of the layout. If you want to remove the top section here, you can remove the realtor images, so it just has content. Stationary tag, or there's a stationary tagline from the desk of if you want to have that used to show your realtor information. If you don't want to put it on there, you can put that there. If you want to use the email stationery, you can do that. If you want to customize your layout, you hit customize layout. You can change the background color. Let's say you want to do a red burgundy. You can hit update. So change the color there. If you want to change the background picture here, let's do, just going to pick an image. If you want to put an image at the bottom, this isn't formatted. I'm just showing you the functionality of it. Normally, our concierge team will put whatever your Facebook header is here, your social media headers, just so everything's matched. But that's how you'll customize your layout. If you want to just return everything back to the way that it was, hit restore defaults, and it'll put it back to factory on how we set it up for you. So that's just a way to get it. And again, if you want to add the realtor images there, you can hit them on and off as needed. So that's how you can work out the email stationery. Oops. Sorry, go back there. Okay, there we go. The next thing is, actually I should have opened up a new window. I'm not sure why I didn't. I will look at that. So the next thing is going to be the text message systems. So they're very, very similar to the email campaigns. The only thing is that they're formatted a little bit differently. So when you come into the ones similar to day 1, day 0, day 3, you can edit any of those. The message obviously doesn't have a subject, it's just text. The body of the text. Formatting for text messages is not allowed, so you can't bold anything, you can't edit any images or anything like that. It's just like a text message. There's no emojis at this time. We're trying to upgrade the system to allow emojis, but Rand particularly doesn't like those because he wants to keep it a professional feeling. So, be that as it may, we may be adding that into the system. But this will be the message body that you can add to the system. You want to be careful not to make it too long. Some carriers do not allow long messages to come through. I'm sure some of you have seen probably when somebody sends you a real long text message, it gets broken up and it gets reordered. It doesn't seem to display in the correct format that you want it to. So You can put a decent amount of text on here, but I would definitely be cautious on making it too long to cause any issues with different carriers. Verizon and AT&T and all the major carriers are fine. Some of the off carriers do have trouble processing larger text message campaigns. Not sure why, but they just break apart the messages and they just don't seem to be received properly. But this is basically the same thing as the email campaigns. You can preview it, delete the message, modify the data send, update the message there. You can also rename this text message campaign, same as the email campaign. You can add a new message. You can delete this campaign altogether. Again, reassign clients. I mean, everything is exactly the same for this. It's just in a text message format. So you definitely can customize things or create text message campaigns that fit your needs or fit your client's needs. It's a great function to have in the system. We get a positive response now. We do have some pre-written ones that we're working on to add to it. Right now we only have those 3 in the system, the 2 for the buyers and 1 for the sellers. But we're going to be adding more text message campaigns to the system very shortly. And again, we'll notify you when those messages come up so you can add them to your system. Okay, so I just want to show you if you added a client into the system, how you would assign them to an email or a text campaign. I'm just going to put my information here. Don't need any of that. Add the client in the system. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one so I know. So we have this one here. That we just manually added. So I'm going to go back in. I'm just going to show you if I wanted to assign this to the 4-step home buyer. Now remember, we're manually assigning this one, so it's not going to get the day 0. So we're going to go to assign client. There's the test one we just did, and then it is assigned, and you'll see it's at the list here. So if we go into that client list, and we covered this in the client list system. If you go into the messages, you'll see that it was assigned on the 4-step home buyer. It says the campaign will end on 2/15/2020, and this is calculating the date that it was assigned and when the last message. So they're not going to get this one. They're calculating the days this, and on the 23rd day, they're going to get their last email campaign from the 4-step home buyer. So that'll show you when they're going to get it. The campaign is going to populate here based on the messages. Now, I'm going to caution you. Again, it says that this one was sent. That's because the system thinks that it was assigned through an email campaign or a lead capture page, but the day 0 will not be on there. It will be the first one here on the 26th, then the 31st, 4th, 8th, 15th. I think that's the last one. So this will be the messages here. So remember you can put on an email message for this one specific one. If you had to send something specifically to this client, if you wanted to edit this message, you can do that, modify it. But here's the issue. If you edit the message in here, you are changing it, the original one. So you want to be careful not to change this, because if you change it here, it's changing it for the entire 4-step email campaign. So that's a little bit of a difference. So if you wanted to add a message, let's just say you wanted to take this message because he's not receiving it and add it to day 1. I'm sorry, day 1. And put digit in. Just put that message in there. I'm not going to modify it, but I just want to put it in there. You'll see that you can get this message will send on the, I forgot to choose the date. Sorry. We'll do it tomorrow. That's it. There we go. so it'll send it tomorrow. So that message is added to their system. You customize the message, but it didn't change anything on the original, on the default 4-step home buyer program. So you can add messages to their system if you wanted to add a different message, or add something in between any of these pre-default messages. You can do that simply by just adding the message. The one thing you can't do is if you do edit any of the pre-writtens, it's editing the default email campaign, and it does come up with a message and tell you that you are modifying the default. Changing this email message, you're changing the original. So just so you are aware of that. But that's pretty much how you can assign the clients to it, and see what messages they're going to get. And we can just remove their email campaign from them. And then they'll be off of the email campaign, and then you'll see in the 4-step home buyer, there's no longer there as well. So that's pretty much how you can assign the clients manually if you add them. If you create a new campaign, I'm just going to do another email campaign. I should have left the one, but that's okay. So we're going to add a message. Day 1. I'm just going to do test. I'm not going to put a body on there. So if I wanted to assign this one, I would just go into the edit after I created it and go to options, email campaigns, and then assign email campaign, and then you'll see the new email campaign that we just named is right there. I can assign that to here and save it, and then it'll be now the new email campaign is going to be the test one that we created. So that's how you can create an email campaign and then assign it to a lead capture page. Pretty easy. Actually, this is the 7 critical questions. I'm going to put it back to default. Make sure it's saved. Yep, good. Sorry. We get trains that go by here quite often, so if anybody can hear that, I apologize. And I'm just going to go back and I'm going to delete this one now. And delete campaign, so it's off. Pretty simple, right? I mean, I think it's a pretty easy system to work with. We try to make it as easy as possible to add, customize email campaigns with the right notifications to make sure you know what you're doing. Remember the switch between the email campaigns and the text campaigns. You just select here. You can see the difference between the logos will be on there, and it'll have all the list on there. And assigning them to the clients is pretty easy. Like I said, the one major thing that you just need to know is if you're assigning an email campaign, that they don't get the day 0 message for people you manually enter. They're only for the lead capture pages only. If you wanted to add a client, you could add them through the lead capture page if you wanted to. If you wanted to manually enter them through that, you can do that. That way they'll receive the messages and be assigned the email campaign, right away. Totally up to you. But if you want to do a lot of clients to one campaign, you're just going to click that assign button next to the client's name in the email campaign. If you're not sure and you want to add something to these, let us know. We'll be happy to help you or guide you. We do not rewrite email campaigns. It's one thing we will not do. Rand writes the email campaigns that are on here. These are set. Our concierge team will not create new email campaigns for you other than what is here. If you have a specialty, if you have, let's say, a bankruptcy email campaign or something like that, foreclosure. Actually, there is foreclosure on here, but something that's not on here, we will not create and write customized email campaigns. That's not what our concierge team does. You would have to create the messages for each of the campaigns yourself. You could base it off of some of these other messages if you wanted to. I mean, by all means, go ahead and just modify the verbiage. and you can create it that way. But he tried to cover pretty much everything that can be used for a buyer or a seller in these email campaigns, and some of them are very good. I believe that's it. I wanted to try to just keep this one within a half hour, and I think I did that. Next week, I am going to go over the template listings for homes. I don't think, yep, I have one here. The template listings for the homes, and I'm also going to go through the open house one to show you how to create an open house, and that way you can have an open house database generated from your sign-in. So don't have the typical sign-in sheet at an open house. You can have this lead capture page up, and people are entering their information, and it'll automatically go into your database. So I will cover that in next week's webinar. Thanks again, everybody. Again, if you have any questions, you can give our support team an email at support@clientcreator.com, and we'll be happy to help you in any way that we can. Have a great day.